What's up, guys? Surprise live stream. Surprise live. I don't know if this is going to work or not because it hasn't worked properly in the past, but we're hoping it does. So there's that. I'm waiting to see if anybody's going to show up today. There's somebody. What's up? If you don't mind, tell me whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. I'm streaming to both, I think. I'm trying to figure out if this program is working properly. Ha! Are you watching this on Facebook or on YouTube, Brandon? Oh, Facebook? Cool. Well, at least that part's working. You see what I got going on over there? Did you catch my video earlier about how to protect your lithium? Yeah, that's a big thing I got coming up. I'm going to build a thing to... Alright, so I'll explain it. Essentially, I'm going to build a device which will detect the temperature around where the lithium is, yes, and turn off disconnect the alternator's ability to charge if the temperature is below a certain point. And I'm also thinking about adding a heating element to it, so the thermostat can both disconnect the alternator and turn on a small heating pad somewhere on or around the thank you for the info, around the lithium battery. So basically, when you start the vehicle, there'll be a delay. Yes, that's what I'm saying. So basically, when you start the vehicle, there's a delay, and the thermostat will come on. If the thermostat reads below a certain temperature, it'll disconnect the alternator from being able to charge and take the alternator's power that would be going to the battery and send it instead to a heating element on the lithium. And then once the temperature comes up to a set point, it'll switch the heating element back off and start charging the lithium. And I've got all the components I need ordered to build this. So I think it's going to work really well. I still have to find out if all the individual bits and pieces are going to be capable of doing the job, but that's the idea. So, and I'm going to disconnect power completely. I can do it one or two ways. I can disconnect the charging wire from the alternator so the alternator just stops charging, but that won't separate the front from the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cut power from the alternator. It is sophisticated, but once it's set up and running, it'll be bulletproof. It'll just do its thing. Every time the vehicle starts, it'll do its thing. Its normal state, without any power, will be breaking the circuit between the alternator and the batteries. So if everything fails, it's just not going to charge, right? It has to have power to the controllers, to the relays to connect the alternator and the rest of the batteries to, and it also serves a second purpose. So if you're running lithium and AGM together, it will also disconnect whatever's on the other side of that system. So the lithium bank, it'll disconnect it from the AGM and the alternators, anything on the front of the vehicle, while the key is off. So when the key's on and the alternator's charging, everything's getting power, they can all share, right? But as soon as you turn the key off, the lithium gets separated from the AGM like an isolator and doesn't have to float voltage with the AGM. Makes sense? So it's going to do two things. It's going to protect the AGM. It can even do three things if you want. I could also have it set up to where once it reaches a high temperature, I can do two separate temperatures. Once it reaches a high temperature, it could disconnect power to the lithium and turn on fans. So I haven't seen that be a need for that yet, but it is a thing. So there's two separate switches in the thermostat. There's a low temperature switch and a high temperature switch, and I can use both of them. So I can set it to where it does the thing when it's cold, and then does a different thing when it's hot. And in both cases can disconnect power to the lithium and also either cool or heat the lithium as a side benefit. So yeah, I'm going to have multiple videos on how it's all done. And this is my test bed. This bank is going to be getting it. I was thinking about actually putting the heating element inside the case where the batteries are. So if that's a thing, I don't know how you feel about that. I'm not sure how it's attached together, so I don't know. It was just a thought. I could put it on the outside, but I could also put it on the inside. Yeah, see, I know that. But the concept is good, and so that's the thing. I'm aware it's pretty hard to get it too hot, but that doesn't mean this is the only lithium battery out there, right? There's other lithium chemistries, other lithium setups that may not be quite as ridiculously stable. So getting this ironed out and functional is a big thing. I think it could be translated into a bigger setup. The lid ain't coming off. Okay, fair. That's fixed what you need for sure in the winter. So yeah, the lid ain't coming off without murder on my mind. And I got you. So then I'll just be heating up the outside of the case. What I'm thinking about doing with the thermostat is the thermistor, the little sensing probe, is just locating it in an area that's going to be really hard to heat up, like around in an area back here that's going to tend to be cold. And that way, by the time that thing warms up, that should, it should all jam. Ideally, though, if I was building the pack, I would have the heating element inside the pack with a membrane separating it. It's already a rubberized deal, but I would add another membrane and separate it from the cells, and then I would have a heat sink in there and attach the thermal couple to the heat sink so that it creates a larger surface to have to heat up and cool down. That way, when the temperature of the cell starts to come up, it's still going to take a little extra time before that heat sink warms up enough to trigger the elements to turn off. So there'll be a delayed reaction. It won't just immediately get warm enough around the probe to turn it on when the cells don't have time to heat up. So I want to create like a little heat sink, a little metal heat sink in there that would take a little longer to warm up, so the cells have time to really get up to temperature before the power comes back into them. So that's kind of the ideas I have, and I've got the stuff ordered. I'm just waiting on it to get here. It'll be here all within the next few days, and I'm going to attack this with a vengeance. The first one I'm going to build it as a standalone unit on a board, like everything placed, lined out, all visible, and have that mounted. But I think there's a way that if I work with it and do a little more research, I can shrink these components down some and take a smaller cell, something the size of that little banger, and put it into a Group 31 case, right? And then have all of these components inside the Group 31 case with a temperature display built into the top of it, so you can see the temperature and see what the status of things are, and also a voltage display built into the top of it. Both of those two things would turn on when the alternator starts sending power to the system. So it won't just sit there and power it. I know, you're like, what? Yeah, they'll all be cold, the lights will all be off. Whenever it sees power from an alternator, the display will all come on and show you the temperature, the voltage, and all that. And if it's too cold, it'll still come on, but it won't actually be charging the battery. You'll be running the heater inside. Yeah, that's the plan. Ultimately, that's the goal. Now, if I can get something, yeah, it's good, man. And I got it. It's all doable. I've road mapped it all in my head, and I think I can make it all happen. So if I can get this mapped out and get this down and prove the concept, right, we might be able to do something, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta, yeah, right? So you hook you got your battery, it's all cold, everything's fine, and it doesn't have power. That's the beauty of this, right? Until you put power on it, it's not going to be energized, so the terminals won't be live or anything. Yeah. The terminals won't be live. It'll be a totally cold battery. But once you put power on it, then if all the conditions are met, i.e. it's not too hot, it's not too cold, then, and it's receiving power, it'll light up and come to life, and it'll do its thing. You know the iOxus supercap setup, you've seen those, the U-starts. Basically the functionality that has is kind of what I'm going for. So I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I want to see how far into that I can get. And what I may wind up with is a 3-prong battery. I thought about that too. It'll have a positive and a negative and a second positive, and that second positive will be where your alternator hooks up, and then the positive and negative that are left will be the ones that go out to the amplifiers. So that's how we can differentiate whether or not it's receiving power or not. Okay, so that's the ideas I have in my head. I thought I'd tell you about them. Might get a kick out of it. You guys that have joined, guys, please speak up in the chat. Let me know if you're here from YouTube or Facebook, because I'm not sure if YouTube is even receiving this at all. And thank you, Brandon, for showing up and talking. I decided I would try to broadcast this on Facebook and YouTube, because it'll do like 9 different platforms at one time. But I haven't even got it to work on YouTube up to this point, so. But yeah, there's going to be a whole lot of testing, and I'll be shooting videos of it. This is becoming a pet project of mine. I may even be doing a bench test type thing for a while to see how I can get it to work, and then before I actually install it, or I may install it and just do the test right here in the Tahoe. As the winter starts to come on, we'll be able to figure it all out. But yeah, prototypes, no doubt. Uh-oh, that was a transformer, because my air conditioner just went off. So I think power just went off. I don't know, man. I gotta have it, dude. I can't roll without it. But hang on a second. I gotta go see what's going on. Let's go for a walk. I'm pretty sure a transformer just exploded. You guys hear that noise? I know y'all did. That was loud. I just don't know where. Scary stuff, man. It was very loud. It scared the crap out of me. Oh, that transformer's fine. Looking at that one over there. This one over here is fine. That sounds like a friggin' bomb going off, man. Yeah, I heard a transformer explode. I don't have any idea where. Where at? Over here? That one? That one or that one over there? This one? I was scared the crap out of me. I was outside. I don't know, man. No, she said that one. She said that one hit. What's up, Caden? Are you on Facebook or YouTube? Oh, apparently it's supposed to be this one. I want to go over here and investigate. She said she saw sparks off of it, but that could have been just from the breaker tripping. And the breaker's still set. Here, let me get you guys a different view here. Hang on a second, I'll show you. I used to do emergency services with a rural power company. I actually know a little bit about this. So, yeah, that breaker's still set. You see up there at the top, that thing right there where my finger is? It's got that little porcelain chunk and it's got a little thing that comes around the side of it. Well, that is a fuse. And if you have an overload, the system's trying to carry too much voltage, that little dude will break. And that little bar will flip down. It's a breaker and a fuse, both. So, and it's still set. And I don't see any obvious problems. A transformer explodes, it's basically a fire. I don't know where it comes from. Holy crap. But that one's still set. That one is still set. I can see that one down there on that pole. It's still set. That one on that pole over there is still set too. So I don't know. Power definitely went off though. And it sounded to me like it came from that direction over there, which is weird because our power comes in from this pole right here. And that transformer looks fine, and all these lights on the building are on. They could be emergency lighting though. I don't remember. Actually, I think they are emergency lighting because they're not normally on, but they redid all the back of that building recently. However, the light on that building over there is on too. Good times all around. Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy stuff. Ha! This is way more exciting than I expected it to be. But no, this is what the stream is going to be about tonight. Though I'm not getting any real action. I think the YouTube portion isn't functional, which doesn't surprise me because it hasn't worked in the past when I've tried to use it. Yeah, at least the air conditioner's not making noise. So there's that. Normally that sucker's over, you know. But I'm working on it. So I figured out a way. I was working on a way to isolate it automatically. And then I started thinking about the possibilities of that. Yeah, right. So I started thinking about the possibilities of if I could isolate it, and how can I control the isolation? And I thought, well, with a thermostat, I can control it in a whole lot of ways. And with some relays and a thermostat, man, I could do about anything with it, you know. I could have it set to do different things at different temperatures, like, you know, maybe like lower the voltage at a certain temperature and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's infinitely controllable depending on how many elements you want to involve. But I thought, well, you know, I'm going to put my brain to work and see if I can improve the situation for other people out there. Now, there's a lot of the normal thing to do would be to, you know, to prototype it and whatchamacallit, get a thing so that you can build it and no one else can use it. My words are escaping me, but I don't really see a need in doing that. I know that there's already companies out there that have done things very, very similar to this. They're building lithium that's designed for camping and stuff like that. With just basically, you know, battery control modules and using those. Can't really use them in car audio though, because we put way too much amperage through stuff, so we can't really use a BCM on the lithium whenever you're going to be throwing 400, 500, 600, 700 amps at something and pulling that much power out. The standard issue BCM is like tops out like 150 amps in and out, or like 50 amps in and 150 amps out. That's useless for car audio, right? But I'm thinking, well, so what are the components used to build something like that? Is there a way I could build basically that with components that are heavy enough to handle the situations that we encounter in car audio? And that's what got me started on this. And now I'm going to smoke my cigarette. I got to figure out what's going on. But the neighbor's gone. My wife is gone, so I ain't got to worry about anybody in the house besides me, and I'm fine. Freaking artillery going off in the yard. Oh, you got to send me something. Brandon, check this out. You see this space? This big, huge chunk of real estate up here? That big, massive chunk of empty real estate, it needs to say trunk lithium thunder right there. It needs to have a big trunk thunder lithium thing right here. These lights come on green, it lights up pretty. Hang on a second. See? That big giant space. Had trunk, thunder, lithium, the lightning bolt right here. I just have nothing to put up there. I know a guy, though. I bet you got something. Now, see, I could put a big bank up there too, by the way. Like a big lithium bank could literally be right here in this space. Like wall art, right? That's just this big old chunk of billboard of real estate. That's at every show I go to. That's what we got going on right there. Big billboard right there. But on a positive note, which, yes, see, yes, an acrylic sign with some LEDs in it or something, pow, like a freaking, dude, something that looks like a neon sign, you know, or an acrylic bank with an acrylic top or something. Just, you see it, I'm putting it in your brain, okay? I'm putting it in your brain, and it can be a lot of thick, because I've got behind this, I got like 3 or 4 inches behind this, and 4 or 5 inches out that I can come, so it can be pretty consistent, pretty big. See, that's what I'm saying. But yes, a thing. And this is, you know, like 16, 18 inches tall, like 40 inches wide. You know, that's kind of the limit. I'd say about 40 or so inches wide. It could be wider than that, but I'm leaving some room. And like, you know, maybe 20 inches tall, something or less. I will. Pretty good size chunk. But it's a lot of real estate, and it can look really nice. So I put a lot of effort into making things look good, because especially on YouTube, people hear with their eyeballs. So, you know, it no matter what it sounds like, if it looks good, then it sounds good. That's the theory. I've been very impressed with the battery, though. Right now, I've got it isolated from the rest of the system, and I'm just giving it the 370, and it's still got the super cap paired up with it back there underneath the thing. So it's getting it's sharing territory with the Ioxa super cap, and it's just getting the 370 amp alternator. And I was hammering on it for about I don't know, half an hour the other day. Played like 5 or 6 songs and just giving it the beans. Probably 50% of that time was red lights and idle, and the voltage was holding solid up in the high. Well, it was holding solid in the low 13s, and I got it to get down around 13.1 a couple of times, but it pretty much holds in the mid to low 13s, between 13.6 and 13.3, somewhere in that range. And that's running this basically 10,000 watts all by itself. It holds voltage a little better when I have both alternators on it, but I'm nervous that putting both alternators on it may be just overwhelming its input current. So if I run both alternators, I like to add the AGMs to it to buffer all that and kind of absorb some of that energy, so it's not receiving the full force of all that amperage by itself. If there was 2 lithium batteries, if I had 2 little bangers or whatever, that I would feel more comfortable with that, because then they'd both be sharing that load and then sharing the incoming current. But as that one, boy, that's a lot of current coming in. That's 670 amps, you know, at full tilt, and that's a lot of power to put into that little battery. I'm concerned about the chemistry side of it, and also the hardware side. I don't know how much current the hardware in there can take. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. So whenever I'm pulling, right now the cap is helping a lot because the cap is going to be dumping power faster than the lithium will, and the lithium is basically charging the cap back up, which means that the cap is emptying and the lithium's emptying, so they're kind of sharing the hit from the alternator and they're sharing the hit to the load. I think, honestly, I think the super cap lithium combo is a match made in heaven because of how they play off of each other. That super cap can dump power so fast. That's a good sized bar. What's up, Ken? Yes, it is. This is me build. Oh, it's part of it. It's the back side. This is the side you back up to the litter box. Powering it with the mighty tiny little trunk thunder lithium battery. That thing is ridiculous. I'm telling you, man. It's the size of a lawnmower battery, and it's got as much power as, you know, like 4 AGMs, 4 big Group 31s. The only way I've been able to hold voltage as good is when I was running 7 AGMs total. That's the last time, before installing this trunk thunder lithium, the last time I was able to hold voltage that good was with 7 AGMs. I had 4 AGMs in the back and 3 under the hood. I had 4 back here. Different setup, but yeah, similar output and everything. It's crazy. Thank you. So yeah, I'm super impressed with it. I can't wait to see what's coming up. What this mystery thing is that you got stashed, Brandon, that you've been telling me about. Did it ever make it across the pond? No idea. Now I'm waiting to see if the power's going to come back on. Oh yeah. I was wondering if it ever made it across the pond. He said it was taking a little while. Oh, someone was asking me what specific cells. Have I metered it? Yes, a 148.3. That's what it's currently doing. Well, that was the last time. It's going to be a little louder than that. Now, let me show you the interior here. Just give me a second. I'll go portable. I'm going mobile. Let me flip the thing. That's what's on the inside. I got four DeNicola 300 series 12s in here, and a 10-inch big ass port tuned to around 28 hertz. So yeah, she does things. She does loud things. Oh, and I have a front sub too. I got that amp hooked up down there. That's where that light's coming from. My little baby amplifier down there. It's powering a sub that's actually underneath there. You can't see it, but it's underneath there. And there's my DB. Yeah, hop in here and sit down and let me give you a little teeth rattler, and you let me know how you feel about that DeNicola at that point, my friend. I've been really pleased with them. I'm not a brand fanboy. That's not how my brain works. But I give credit to a specific product, right? A specific product. Yeah, you see all that billboard real estate right there. Keep that in your brain. And this, what's up, Danny? And these guys, I've going on 4 years putting 2,000 watts on these things, and running multiple songs back to back. When I had a mounted magnet out, after playing 10 minutes of non-stop 2K, I could stick my finger in there and touch the voice coil and put my finger on the voice coil and just let it sit there. That's how efficient these things are. They don't get hot. They cool extremely well. And so yeah, it's a beast, man. I enjoy it. I'll put it up against anything in the price range on these subs. No problem. They're great subs. Very dark in here. But Danny, yes, the power is out here. Transformer exploded earlier in this stream, so I need to go turn the key off. I like how it lights up. You can hear the fans running just a little bit. Not very loud, but I got my wires cleaned up last night on the stream I did last night. I got those cleaned up to where I like them now, and I did some tweaking on this, and I got a nice little 4-gauge speaker wires coming out now, so they're clean. Things are good. Things are good. But I decided to do. Let's fire it up here real quick. I decided to do a little live stream, and then the transformer exploded. It's awesome. So the voltage is coming up now. We're sitting a little bit low. It'll come up to about 14.5. Yeah. But everything is good. So we're at 14.3. It's coming up. I've had this thing on quite a bit today, so yeah. Can't wait to hear it. Hey, it'll be this coming up Sunday. I'll be at Carmel Car Audio, letting it rip. You gotta respect the Chevy exhaust, man. Chevy exhaust. Should I turn it on? I should, right? You guys know I should. If you was here, you would say yes. You'd be like, hell yeah, man. My neighbor won't mind. thunder is happening. But yeah, well, you know, we do things. It's a base head thing. I normally keep it civil in the hood, but sometimes you just gotta, you know, you gotta let them know that they live next door to a base head. Oh yeah, you guys have the opportunity. This light is so bright. Check that out. It's crazy how bright those lights are. That's on my side mirrors. But if you guys have the opportunity to re-listen to this on a system where you've got an actual headphones, or whether you've got some good stereo speakers, there should be a little bit of clean bass in there. When I get up close to the vehicle, of course, the mic gets all clipped from the wind and whatnot, but when I'm backed away from it, you should be able to hear that just wave of bass that washes out over the ground. But it'll do a pretty good parking lot demo. I only had it cranked up about 3/4, so, and I only had one door open. If I open up both doors and I give it a full plate of beans, you're basically at a concert, a small concert in the parking lot. And I don't even have a stunt wall hooked up yet. This is just my doors. Those doors ain't no joke though, huh? But oh, that little banger's a beast, dude. We've been talking about that. We've had a long lithium discussion today. I've got some stuff ordered that I'm going to use to build a system that can protect the lithium in the wintertime and all that stuff. It's going to be very cool. So you're going to want to be involved in that, Mr. Danny. You're going to want to be staying on top of it, because it's going to be pretty cool. I'm going to have it set up to where it will it'll check the temperature and turn itself off and the temperature's too low and all that good stuff. But anyway, that's coming. If you guys have subscribed to my channel, then you'll be aware when these videos go up. Been at Rick's. What are you doing down there? That place costs money to stand at. If you're hanging out at Rick's, it costs money. That place is expensive to stand at. I like Rick. Rick's a good dude. He's very knowledgeable. He built a infinite baffle setup for a guy. I guess it was last year, and that was amazing. I got to sit in his car and listen to an IB. That's something that you ought to consider, Danny, is an IB. Not going to induce crazy sound pressure, but it's different. Not a lot of people run IB, and it's great sound quality. And I think it would be an interesting setup, like an IB wall in that little car. I think that would be cool. That'd be something I'm looking at, like a single big subwoofer, like a 21 on an infinite baffle wall, like at the back of your back seats or something like that, or maybe, yeah, like a C-pillar kind of a thing. I don't know, but just an idea I'm tossing out there. Similar to what I've got going on in here, but it's on a smaller scale. And instead of having to close the box, it would just be open on the back to the passenger, you know, to the cargo area. You'd see the back of the subwoofer there. So what was your score last time you ran in that little Honda CRX imitation? What did you manage to get to, score-wise? $44.9. There you go. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be over a 49 on the next time on this next week. I'm shooting for a 50. I'll be close. Oh yeah, I know. Your wattage is really low, and that's an excellent score for that low of power. One advantage you have though is a very small cabin. That makes a big difference when you're making sound pressure. But I like the way yours sounds. Getting in there and listening to it, that thing sounds really good. It's tight and clean. So I haven't heard the last box though, so I don't know how well that's going, but I can't speak on it yet. But uh-oh, it's telling me my device is too hot. Let's see here. Disable effects and filters. Okay. Yeah, now we did something. I don't know what we did. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But I got to. Did you call the power company?
The transformer went out. They're trying to fix it now. It's just down the street about 4 houses.
Okay, 3 or 4 houses down that way.
Yeah, they're working on it.
Usually that doesn't happen unless it's the lightning strike or something. Somebody probably in there cooking meth or something and blew it. And meth heads will blow up anything. Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Well, it's a sealed enclosure full of flammable fluid. When it blows, it essentially is a artillery shell. I see the vicious attack dogs are all out. Well, guys, I'm gonna end the stream because of the excitement happening around here. You guys be sure to get over here in a little bit. Living Loud with Andy's going to be running, and I love catching his live shows. I think it's at 9 o'clock. Hopefully I'll have power back by then. But watch his stuff because he's always entertaining. And most of the guys that follow him on YouTube also follow me. So anyway, this crazy bonkers night that is tonight, it's going to culminate in something. Yep. Peace out, Danny. But you guys have a good one. And I'll get the measurements to you, Brandon, so you'll know what's up. Thanks, boss. You guys have a good night. Peace.